Hey guys, welcome back. Quick update. Got motor pretty much all done. It's all pre-wired, ready to go in chassis. Still waiting for some wires, wire loom spacers for the ignition wires. Waiting for that from Detail Master. Hopefully they're here within a week or so, and we can wire this distributor up and get spark plug boots on and get the distributor and wiring all done. Weber carbs turned out pretty good. We used the Molotov chrome on the injectors, or the stacks on the Webers, and I used some Tamiya clear orange paint on the valve covers and the Weber carbs to just kind of highlight them and give it a little bit of bling. We changed out the generator that came with the kit and put a chrome alternator on it, and it's all chromed up, ready to get wired up to regulator. What else have we got? We got it's our first time using braided wire, so we've got upper and lower rad hoses plumbed, ready to be fitted up to radiator. Got a couple of heater hoses that we've got glued in place, and we'll run those back to the firewall once we get there. I used the Molotov actually liquid that I painted the Weber stacks and the chrome pulleys on the alternator belt pulley setup. Just the liquid stuff. It's pretty expensive to buy in liquid form. I think the tube, refill tube, cost me about $50, but it's well worth it because you can just put it in a couple of drops in a little container that you just take your paint from, and it goes a long way, and that way you're not wasting it. But it highlighted the pulleys pretty good, and the stacks on the Webers. Chrome plated, I guess, with the Molotov again, the starter motor, and it's all plumbed up, ready to hook up to battery. Just made a scratch, built a distributor for it. I find most of the aftermarket ones are a little bit too big. They seem way out of scale for what these cars are. I have a couple of new ones coming from a couple of different suppliers that aren't here yet, so we'll have a look at those when they come and see whether they still look out of scale. We're probably going to mount the coil. I haven't decided whether I'm going to mount the coil on the back of the engine or whether I'm going to mount it on the firewall, so we'll see what room we've got in clearance and so on to see how we're going to do that. Other than that, motor and trans is done. Chassis is painted up. It's detailed as far as I want to detail that. Suspension's all painted up. Exhaust is done from exhaust manifolds down to the mufflers, and from the mufflers to the back of the car. I'm just going to run solder again, and we'll figure out what kind of tailpipes we'll put on it once we get back there and what we think looks good. Body still in the same state, nothing done, but dashboard's painted, firewall's painted, interior, that's probably our next stage. I've got all the parts for the interior prime, so we'll go through that next and get those all painted up and get some chrome foil on there to make it bling a little bit. Wheels we've got detailed, and calipers all painted up. Rotors are there. We got our Pegasus wheels and caliper set up, all ready to go on the car. Probably glue the front wheels on once we get the chassis all detailed and finished. I probably won't put the rear suspension or rear wheels on until I get the body and most of the car assembled, so I can set the ride height. I find that once you think what you have the ride height set at, if you glue the rear wheels and front wheels in place, that once you put the biggest change is when you go to put the windshield in the car, and it seems to change the ride height. So we'll probably wait till we've got pretty much the body all finished and assembled, and that'll be one of the last things we do is set the rear wheel ride height. I've got the front set where I want it now. Basically just reverse the spindles that came in the kit so it sits low. Motor turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with the way the motor turned out. I don't know if I'm going to run any fuel lines on this engine. I think that it might be way over my skill limit. We'll think some more about that and see how we feel as time goes on in this build and whether we want to tackle something like that or not. But I'm a little afraid that if I go that extra mile, that might bite me in the ass. But anyway, we'll see what happens on throughout the build. But I thought I'd just give you an update, and I'll probably do a separate video on where I am with the rest of the chassis and wheels and so on. But I just thought I'd stop and give you guys a quick update on what's going on so far with the 61 Impala. And so far so good, and cross your fingers that everything will go as good as what this turned out to be. And I'm really happy with how this motor turned out. Alright guys, again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.